Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Jakarta Tech Talk. My name is Serena, and joining us today is Olivier Asuncion, who will be presenting on the topic of Jakarta Tech Talk, Tradista, a free open source financial risk management. If you have any questions for Olivier as we move through today's presentation, feel free to ask them in the chat or the Ask a Questions tab. Without any further delay, Olivier, over to you.
Thank you, Serena. Hi, everyone, and thank you to joining. My name is Olivier Asuncion. I have 18 years of experience in Java development with a focus in the banking area. And today I will present you Tradista, that is an open source project I work on. Share my screen. So I think you should see my screen now, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So Tradista is a free and open source financial risk management solution that I started to work on a couple of years ago. It is available on GitHub. It is under the Apache 2 license. I will show you first why I created Tradista, what can be the added value of Tradista. Then we'll have a focus on what is Tradista, with a presentation of the technical architecture. Then we'll discuss about what can be next, what can be the next step with this project. And then we'll finish by a demo. So why Tradista? The main idea of Tradista was to democratize financial softwares. Most of the financial softwares are closed source solution created by well-established companies, and the idea was to provide an alternative to whoever would be interested in trying a financial software for free. So local banks, students, university, any individual, startup, everything could have the possibility to use a financial risk management software. The other idea is that every financial institution that today work with a closed source solution can, if they want to, complement their IT ecosystem with a free and open source solution. You can use Tradista only for a part of it. You can use only some services. So financial institutions have this alternative to use both closed and open source solution if they want to. The other idea is that providing such solution, publicly available and downloadable on GitHub, also opens the door to new way to collaborate. We can imagine several companies working on the same project, sharing some practices, services. We have a new way to collaborate between financial institutions. So these three are we'll say the three drivers of Tradista. The main one, democratize financial software. What is Tradista exactly? I call it a financial risk management solution. You sometimes can hear the term trading management solution or trading and financial risk management solution. In the corporate world, it can also be called treasury management solution. The distinction between them is sometimes not so important, but the main feature is to be able to price a financial operation and assess if it's worth entering in a deal or not. For that, you analyze market data, and with this market data, you will price operation, and so you will assess if you have to enter in a deal or not. Market data can be prices, can be FX rate, can be indexes. You have many kind of market data and many providers providing this data. Once you book a deal, you have what we call a position. It is the number of securities of the amount of cash you have at a given time. In Tradista, you book a trade, and Tradista will calculate for you your position now, your position in the future. You can also what we call cash flow forecast, meaning that you have an operation and you will see in the future what will be your payment, so with the amount, with the settlement date. And finally, one important feature is the ability to calculate P&L, so profit and loss, what will be your profit and your loss now, but also in the future. You can do estimation. Yes, about the market situation, the world of financial risk management is quite limited. I mean, there is a limited number of factors. I got some of them here. So Adenza, Murex, Finastra, Kiriba. But there are also other ones. The idea is that the number of factors is quite limited and it is generally well-established companies. What is Tradista? In more details, you have in Tradista 4 concepts working all together. First, market data integration. So with Tradista, you can connect to different providers. It can be Bloomberg, it can be Nasdaq, Datalink. Actually, there is a framework to integrate an API to integrate new market data providers if needed. So yes, with Calypso, you integrate this market data and you enter them in the system. The second important concept is trade management. So you can price a trade, you can book it. Booking a trade means entering a trade in the system. You have some reporting features based on trade, and you can also forecast cash flows. Third concept is payment. Once you enter a deal in Tradista, Tradista will calculate the expected payment in the future. So these payments are generated in Tradista and are available. And finally, once you have entered the deal and once payments are generated, Tradista will calculate a position, so your amount of cash, your amount of securities at a given time. And with the position being calculated, you have a certain number of features like cash flow forecast at position level, profit and loss calculation, and reporting. So these are really the 4 main concepts in Tradista. I wanted to make it more visual. So we are here with these 4 concepts working together. I will show you one traditional use case in Tradista, but actually most of the use case available in Tradista turn around these 4 concepts. So the first part is market data. Generally, market data are published. We integrate them into Tradista. They are persisted into Tradista. And once you have that, you can start to price a trade. So you can start to assess if it is interesting to enter in a trade or not. Once you are able to value your trade, you are able to price it, you can decide if it is an interesting operation to book it, so to enter it in the system. The trade has been booked. Now payment can be generated. So payments are calculated, then stored in the system. Once your payments are generated, position can be updated. So these positions are also stored in Tradista DB. And once the positions are updated, several features are available, like calculation of P&L or cash flow forecast, for example. Or simply, if you want to monitor your position, you have reporting based on this position. Yes, in terms of technical architecture, Tradista is a very classical application. It is a Jakarta EE simple application, so a server client application with use of relational DB. So for the moment, only Apache DB is supported. We have on server side 4 applications. I use Wildfly for the application server, and we find one application by main concept. So we have one application working on market data, connecting to market data provider, storing the market data in Tradista, and make them available to other components. We have the core app that is basically managing trade, but also static data. Static data are the referential data needed to book a trade, like currency, book, counterparties, and so on. We have then a payment application that will be in charge of triggering and calculating payment in Tradista. And finally, an application that manage position. All these applications are enterprise applications deployed as EAR. And yes, that's it for the server side. On client side, historically, Tradista client was JavaFX, a JavaFX client. More recently, a web client is also available based on GSF, more exactly on Prime Faces. The web application is only a POC for the moment, so it is, and I will show you that, but for the moment it is limited to equities, and it is only a simple screen. If I show the technical architecture in terms of layers instead of application, we will have, so the DB, the persistence layer based on JDBC, the business layer that is made of stateless AGB, stateless AGB, so instead on Wildfly. And for authentication and authorization, I use Wildfly Electron with the concept of security domain, where we authenticate using Tradista DB, and access to EGB is also controlled at EGB level. And regarding the client, we have a JavaFX one and a GSF one based on Prime Faces. So this is a high-level view of Tradista layers. As you can see, quite simple application. I'm working these last days at upgrading Tradista to Jakarta EE10. It is important for me to have Tradista up to date with latest technologies. So as Wildfly 27 is out since I think 1 week or something like that, I would like to upgrade Tradista to Wildfly 27 because Wildfly 27 supports Jakarta EE10. So yes, in the coming weeks, a new version of Tradista will be available, managing Jakarta EE10. Concretely, for the moment, there are upgrades in the EGB part, light one on the Wildfly Electron part, and also the GSF client that is upgraded to Jakarta Faces 4 with a new version of Prime Faces. There is no big obstacle for this upgrade, I must say. There was a package upgrade, of course, to handle, but It is a global change, but not so intrusive. So testing are going well, and I think in a couple of weeks I will have this version available on GitHub. So that's it for the upgrade. What can be next for Tradista? Well, for me, one important aspect is to continue this presentation and demo. It is a way for me to boost Tradista, getting more visibilities, trying to build a community of contributors, users. I think it is a very important step for the project. A very important milestone will be to have an attention of financial institution to work on a POC or to get feedback, even feedback, every feedback is very interesting to take, so I can improve the solution and make it closer to actual needs. This is very important. And I would say another motivation for me is to make Tradista close to last version of Jakarta EE, because it is a way to showcase Jakarta EE, what I call here in action. I mean, applied to a specific domain like finance. I found it very, very interesting to see concretely showcase what can be done with Jakarta EE. So this can be next steps. I will now perform a short demo to show you a little bit Tradista. So, Tradista, if I take the original client, this JavaFX client, this is one of the main screens in the application. It is the screen where you can book trades. So whatever the financial product you want to book, the screen will be always with the same structure. So at the top left, you have the content of your book. A book in banking wording is an account. Basically, it is an account where you will hold your securities or hold your cash. And with this diagram, we can see what I have for the moment in my demo book. Another part of the screen is this pricing form. I won't enter into details for this demo, but the idea is that you can configure Tradista to select what kind of algorithm you want to use, what exactly you want to measure. There is a configuration interface for that. The idea is that you can choose Tradista out of the box algorithm, but if you want to, you can also create your custom pricer. You inherit from a pricer class, and if you want, you can create your really specific pricer using the framework. There is another part of the screen at the top right where it is a form basically, where you will enter a trade. So with all the needed information to book a trade. And finally, at the bottom right, you have this table. So there are two tabs. First one is codes. Codes are market data. So once you have received market data, they will be displayed there. And in this example, I have some market data for an Eclipse demo equity that I have created for this demo. And so generally you have several types of market data linked to one product and for a given date. So you can see your market data there and the cash flow forecast, so an estimation of what can be the cash flow in the future. For example, here, if I buy some Eclipse equities, I will have a payment, sorry, and then some dividend because this equity deliver dividends, so they also appear here. So the idea here is that you have an estimation of the cash flow to receive in the future if you book this deal. I'm sorry. So here, if I book a simple deal, I have booked a deal 224, and then I can show the transfers that have been calculated for this deal. So here it is the transfer that are planned for this deal. Basically, there is a transfer of payment. I pay, but I'll also receive the equity. So two flows in different direction. But this transfer appear here for the trade I have just booked. And then my position, oops, sorry. My position is also updated. So in our case, it is a very simple position. I have booked some Eclipse equities, and I can see that I have 5 equities now, today, so 23rd of November. So this is the idea. We book a trade, Tradista calculates the transfer, then the position. That's the main dynamic in the software. If I take the POC, so the web client, so it is the GSF-based client, and connect. Okay, I'm sorry for that. So okay. So for the moment, it is a very simple screen. For sure, in the next weeks, I would like to improve it. Basically, in this POC, we see a trade booking component where you can enter your deal. You can see a list of trade, and you have a graphical visualization of your book and your inventory. So the view on the book is very similar to the JavaFX one. Regarding the position, here I use a graph instead of a table. Seems to me that it is more attractive. Also, we can have the right information probably more easily using graph. And for that, I leverage prime faces component, graphical component. And if I book a trade, let's say a very similar trade to the other one, so I want to buy some Eclipse equities, price is 8, quantity is 10, save it. And what happened is that the position have been updated. So yeah, I sold. Yes, trade was in the sell direction. So now I am short, meaning that I have a negative position. This component is updated real time. Once you book a trade, you have an update of this component. That's the idea. That's it for the demo. Of course, we didn't see everything, but you have the main, I would say, the main feature: booking and pricing a deal, generate transfer, and finally position. That's the idea. If I come back to the slide, Yes, I wanted to give you some links if you're interested in the solution and would like to dig a little bit. Um, my advice would be to download the Tradista demo package. So it is a third link. Actually, this package is an installer, an install4j installer that will install Tradista locally with a pre-configured database. So you have everything, server, client, and database. And so you can play with Tradista with some dummy data. Yes, I think it's an easy way to enter in the application. Uh, my user advice would be to follow the tutorial. If you want to see how to configure Tradista, you can follow this tutorial available on GitHub that provides step by step all the configuration needed to make Calypso Tradista works. I skip it for this demo, but there are some static data to set up. There are a couple of steps, and this tutorial is entering in much more details than the demo. So it was to try it, and don't hesitate to give me feedback if you have question or comment on it. And then, of course, you have the Tradista website that give an overview of the application, the repo with the Tradista sources. So as I said earlier, Tradista is open source, is under an Apache 2 license, so feel free to take it, fork it, play with it. There is absolutely no issue at all. You can use it. And finally, probably the more important, if you are interested in contributing in Calypso, in Tradista, I am extremely interested in any kind of feedback. Can be idea of a new business feature that we can discuss, or idea on technical enhancement of the architecture. I'm very happy to discuss it and to add it to the backlog, so don't hesitate. I put some contribution instruction on GitHub. Feel free to have a look if you are interested in it. Be interested to discuss that with you. And yes, I think that's all for me. I finish. I don't know if there is a question.
Okay, amazing. Let's just have a quick look right now to see if there's any questions. There's no questions in the Ask a Questions tab or in the chat. So I just wanted to say thank you for that excellent presentation today, Olivier. And a reminder again, anyone in the
Thank you.
audience, if you have any final questions, just put them up there while we wrap it up. We are also looking to book some more Jakarta Tech Talks throughout. Actually, 2023 is when we're going to be starting the next set of talks. So if you're interested in presenting, feel free to fill out the form that I'm going to be linking in the chat. And if you have any feedback on the Tech Talk program, we would love to hear from you. So just click on the green button that's going to pop up on the screen and let us know how you enjoyed the talk. And let me just take a quick look again, Olivier, to see if there's any questions. Nope, everything looks good. So that's it. Thank you so, so much, Olivier. You have yourselves,
Thank
everyone,
you.
a wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you very much. Have
Bye.
a good day.